Europa Way presenta. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. We've been talking back and forth with the owner, the promoter, our production department about this new section, this new novelty that we want to bring here at Gali Lucha Libre, which is called, it's entitled Fan Corner, the Fan Corner. And we have leading this project, Mr. Robert Lee. Welcome to this new segment. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm good. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's just go. Let's just start this thing. What got you into Lucha Libre?
That's a great question. Growing up in the Midwest, in the time frame that I grew up in the 80s, I think like a lot of people around here, I watched, your big company wrestling. Without naming names, I think everybody knows who I'm talking about. But that, that they didn't utilize a whole lot of Lucha Libre wrestlers, except on rare occasions. And on those rare occasions, I was fascinated by those wrestlers. I was always kind of conscious of Lucha Libre in a vague sense, as I went through adulthood and as a continuing wrestling fan. But again, there wasn't really a direct line to it. Now we find ourselves in the information age, and I stumbled across a Lucha Libre television show. I think everybody's familiar with Lucha Underground. And it sparked my imagination immediately. I said, yes, here's these wrestlers that I want to watch. Here's the type of wrestling I want to watch. And it kind of spiraled on from there. What I found fascinating about Lucha Libre, and have always found fascinating, is the pageantry and the brightness of it and the joyfulness of it. That doesn't get bogged down in all of the kind of melodramatic soap opera storylines that honestly I don't think it needs. It needs what the luchadors bring, and that's athletic prowess, the ability to tell a story in the ring, to make you care, to put you on the edge of your seat with the moves and all of the high flying that Lucha Libre has become known for. And so as I dug into that as a fan, and with the aid of the internet, I was able to find more and more. So, I've branched off into watching other promotions through the internet. It's, AAA, CMLL, IWRG, many great promotions out there. And that led to collecting masks, ordering masks direct from Mexico, which was very exciting for me to have, these little pieces of this great sport. And that kind of segued into, well, I need to find a wrestling promotion, a Lucha Libre promotion that I can go and see live. I'd been to many live wrestling shows all over Chicago, all over the state of Iowa. But always more of your American style wrestling. I wanted Lucha Libre wrestling. For whatever reason, like I said, the culture, the incredible colorful nature of it really speaks to me. So just kind of by accident, I happened across Gali Lucha Libre, and I reached out to the promoter, to Carlos, and said, hey, I know we live in the time of COVID. Are there any live seats available to this? And he immediately got back in touch and said, well, the show that you're seeing advertised is sold out, but I will send me a message for the next one, and I'll get you hooked up. And I saw the next poster advertising it. I got a hold of him, and he hooked me up with seats, and I've been coming to virtually every show since. I drive in about 2.5 hours from where I live into the western suburbs there to watch it, and it's it's always worth the drive.
You know, it's really so nice, great for you to say those words, express yourself, driving 2.5 hours where you live. May I say where you come from or where you live? Yeah. Dubuque, Illinois.
Yes.
Dubuque, Illinois. That's 2.5 hours into Chicago. And you, one time, it was snowing. It was a snowstorm, and you were there.
I was there.
You were there, and I was like, "Whoa, wow!" I mean, you're hooked. You're hooked on lucha libre, which is great. The adrenaline, and you said something that really caught my attention there. That you are now collecting masks from Mexico. You're buying them in, and you're bringing them in. And I seen you talking to a lot of the Gali luchadores, and I seen you in the ringside when they fly out. And a lot of times you had caught a couple of them in your arms because, I mean, you're a big guy. Yeah, these are big guys too. These are big guys too. So I was like, whoa, they go. But I mean, you get into it. You're really passionate about being there live.
Yes. I mean, it's very interesting to me because it transcends language, right? I don't speak fluent Spanish. I know very, very little bits and pieces of it. I'm trying to learn more to be able to understand more, but
should put you in the booth with me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I made the offer the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make good on it. I'm gonna make good on it, at least for one lucha. Have you over there and do color commentary, but you got to throw in some Spanish words in there.
I will try. I will learn. We'll get a hot list of words for me to learn and to perfect.
I mean, okay. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're okay. But yeah, I mean, as someone who's pretty much an English only speaker, to be able to follow along as the interplay between the wrestlers and the wrestlers and the fans, and even the ring announcer and the fans, I don't need to know every word that's being said to understand the meaning. There's so much going on that you can just feel and absorb through body language, and it's so much fun. It really is.
They let him have it.
Yeah, they do
let him have it, and he doesn't say why. He comes right back. But that's the whole experience. Yeah. That's the whole experience without crossing that line. Yeah. Without crossing that line. Even if the line is crossed, you know when to back up, and obviously the fans know as well. What are your thoughts of the latter luchas that you have seen? People like Mil Muertes, Torres, Mecha Wolf, all of these huge walls of human beings that they fly. Yeah. You brought up Mil Muertes, and I mentioned the previous show that I had discovered. He was the luchador that absolutely captured my imagination. Everything about Mil Muertes, his persona, his look, his backstory, his character, the way he comes to the ring, the way he moves in the ring, everything about him is just so physical, and he just dominates matches. And so that was the luchador that really caught my attention. And so to be able to see him at this recent show in person, it was awe-inspiring, really. Being able to talk to him beforehand with the meet and greet. I actually bought a mask from him for my collection that I'm very excited about. And it was so fascinating because to talk to him on a fan to performer level was so much fun. He was so nice. But then when he came out for his match,
it was as if the switch had been flipped. Yep. And he seemed even bigger than when you're standing face to face with him. And it just, that match was, that might be my favorite match that I have seen live to date.
I like his custom.
Oh, that
Aztec. His Aztec.
Yes.
You know what Mil Muertes? You know what that means?
1,000 deaths. Am I translating?
Right there. But I mean, it's so, to me, behind the microphone and behind the cameras, it's so fascinating to see that Aztec playing tribute to his roots, or to the Aztec warrior in him. That is so capturing. Eye candy. It's an eye candy to me. I don't know if you agree with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you bring up a good point about Aztec history. Just from a historical standpoint, Aztec history is fascinating. The native peoples of Mexico and Latin America, the Mayans, the Aztecs, fascinating history. But then when you see that presented in a modern fashion with Mil Muertes, with Espiritu Maya,
the Guatemalan, that he represents the Guatemalans,
the
Maya.
So all of these indigenous cultures, there's a line then that connects from ancient history to today, and that to me is very enticing, because you don't get that in other styles of wrestling, particularly American wrestling. Everything is flash and now and modern. You still have that feel of that lineage that goes along with the lucha libre style, and to me it's wonderful.
I gotta ask you this: how many masks, if I may, do you own to this interview?
To this interview, somewhere in the ballpark of 70, 75. Split between half of them are signed and half
Where
of them
do you put them? Do you put them in mannequins and styrofoam heads?
Yeah, I do. I have to frequently switch them out so that I change the look up. But I've got a couple of Rubbermaid totes that are pretty much full. Like I said, I bought several from Gali shows because it's a win-win, right? So I get to add to my collection, and I'm very pleased to do so. But I'm also supporting the wrestlers, by buying something from them. And these are tough times, especially with the COVID pandemic. Live wrestling, has dwindled quite a bit. It's starting to come back, thankfully. But I mean, these guys, have gone through some hard times just like everybody else. And so if I'm able to support them and also receive something that's very special to me, that's a win-win right there.
May I make a suggestion, Robert?
Yeah.
You should create, like I have here in my house, my basement, it's like a museum.
Yeah.
I have jerseys, autographed jerseys, soccer shoes, soccer balls, now lucha libre. So it's like my private museum, and you should. I mean, it's just a suggestion, obviously.
Right.
That all those, and start buying those styro heads, and then put like a little scripture up above, like in a museum, or what the piece is, what it was from, who it was from, the date. So when you have people over, then you can showcase this is from that day, this is from that day, this is autographed from that day, and that'll create. Obviously that was pre pandemic times when I had people over at the house,
but we'll get there again at some point.
Jersey from, and then it's so nice to relive those moments. Oh yeah, that's from them. And then the credentials, grain credentials from World Cup and Gold Cup and all those that I had the privilege to participate. But they're just a suggestion, because you're
reading my mind.
You really get a kick out of that. And your guests,
it's already
your house guests, they will be like, wow.
Right.
And hopefully that'll become like a chain link that,
Yeah.
you know, you get them interested in lucha libre. Now we talk about Mil Muertes. What are your thoughts? And we talk a little bit about what are your thoughts about wrestlers like Mecha Wolf?
Oh, I love Mecha Wolf. Actually, Mecha Wolf and I had been communicating electronically before I actually met him at this last show. Reason being that we had connected through Twitter, through social media. I do some art as a hobby, and one of those expressions, I sculpt. So I had made for some other wrestling shows some belts, some championship belts that I had sculpted, and took them as something to get autographed by wrestlers. And he had seen some of my work, and we ended up connecting, and I did some work for him. I did a classic Universal Studios Wolfman championship wrestling belt. It was themed in that way. And so I had communicated with him. I was, aware of him, but seeing him live at Gali, that was just amazing. He and Vari Morales put on just an incredible match, a very hard hitting match. And again, to be able to come and see him in person, someone that I had already communicated with, but you add that layer of being able to see them in person and to see what a performer. I mean, he is, he's an absolutely jacked guy. I mean, he is big and muscular and strong, and he moves so quickly. And that's the hallmark of a great luchador, right? Is that combination of power and speed and agility. He's, the distillation of what makes lucha libre and luchador so great.
What impresses me about the folks or the luchadores that we had talked to so far is when they enter the arena.
Yes,
it's so impressive to me. Like Mecha Wolf, it's like Jesus Christ, it gives me chills to think about. And then Mil Muertes with as I mentioned, I'm going to sound redundant. Just so appealing to me behind the microphone that I could just stay in silence and they just become awed with their presence. Now, another one that I'm going to touch very briefly, because I cannot go through the whole roster of Gali luchadores, would be another one that comes to mind is Black Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
Another big, powerful guy.
Yes. Best Samoan drop in all of wrestling. My humble opinion, his Samoan drop, they pop the other wrestler up on their shoulders, lock him in, and then go back with them. To me, he has the quickest, most impactful, violent kind of Samoan drop that I have seen in years. He does it better than the Samoans do it. In my humble opinion, I know there's probably some Samoans out there that would want to break my neck over that statement, but Black Taurus is just, again, so quick, so powerful, so fluid in the ring. And again, a great persona with the mask and embodying, a bull in such a way, a minotaur that is equal parts fascinating and scary, and another great entrance to the ring, and just striking to look at. Incredible athlete, incredible luchador.
It's spectacular. I have no other word than as spectacular of the luchadores that we just talked to or talked about. Robert Lee,
yes,
it's always a pleasure to talk to you, to have you lead this fan corner, something that we're going to keep doing here at Gali Lucha Libre. I want to thank you for taking the time off of your busiest schedule and chatting, talking about this new how should I put it, adrenaline found and about lucha libre, and I hope that 80 turn into 100 and 120, and then you can do your museum, and then maybe send me some video or shots of it, so I can put it on my social media.
But listen, Tico, it's absolutely my pleasure and my honor to be the one chosen to kick this off. I hope to see many more with and hear other people's opinions and their thoughts. You know, what I learned immediately the first show at Gali was that it's a family. The fans, even, it's like a family environment. You see the same people and you wave, hi, how are you? You know, and there's kids, you know, kids being passionate about wrestling, and it's just such a wonderful experience altogether. And so my honor, my privilege to have joined you. So thank you.
No, thank you. And then the offer is still on the table for you to come to the booth and color commentate with me. And then I'll, prior to, I can translate some words so you can throw them out. That'll be, oh, I could just imagine to have Robert Lee.
Yeah,
it's a commentator guest to do a match. And then, I mean, that'll be epic. That'll be epic. Yeah. Thank you, Robert. Take it easy, and I'll see you at Gali Lucha Libre, brother.
All right, I will be there. We'll see you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.